Following the September 11th attacks, millions have reported being targeted by illegal state-sponsored sabotage programs that have been designed to be impossible to prove or escape. In response, the intelligence agencies have claimed these victims are suffering from a mass delusion. So, as insiders, targets, and whistleblowers, we decided to launch the Targeted Individual University to teach victims about these programs and to give them a chance to earn an income while they learn. We'll be posting free content on YouTube every week, so make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you'd like to get updates. When we launch in a few days, you'll be able to find our contact details in the video description below. Since the Five Eyes Spying Alliance, the FBI, and the Department of Justice claim that the Targeted Individual program does not exist, if we offered educational courses that guaranteed otherwise, it creates an opportunity to censor our disclosures and analysis. Rather than fight that fight, let's be clear that all of our communications, analysis, websites, and courses are strictly comprised of our opinions, and they may include parody. Opinions and parody are protected forms of speech, which is the legal basis upon which we operate. When Edward Snowden blew the whistle, the key documents that identified the Five Eyes Spying Alliance as sponsors of the Targeted Individual program were misunderstood by the media. These documents connect the dots between books like License to Lie Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice, documentaries like Diary of a Person of Interest and Dark Money, and illegal spy programs being used to subvert the masses by exposing the penetration and hijacking of the Five Eyes Spying Alliance and the Department of Justice by deep state operatives from the military-industrial complex and central banks. Our free 80-page report, Decoding the Deep State, Connecting the Dots with the Targeted Individual program, lays out the evidence to show President Eisenhower's warnings about the threat posed to our societies by the military-industrial complex have turned out to be prophetic.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
As the Five Eyes' own documents identify, they penetrate organizations with teams of insiders that they direct to employ a destructive organizational psychology. In this way, up till now, they've managed to discredit and destroy every effort we've made to expose them. Online courses are an ideal system to defend against sabotage by the Targeted Individual program because they're an automated, decentralized, self-serve system. This makes sabotaging the Targeted Individual University's online courses difficult to deny for the spy agencies, but that hasn't stopped them from trying. For example, the Five Eyes know that email marketing is a critical tool for any online school, so they blocked our email marketing software from authenticating T.I.U University's domain. So that means our email marketing emails, like our newsletters, would come from MailChimp's domain, not ours. Why does this matter? Well, it creates a massive vulnerability that can be used to entrap us and our students. With this vulnerability, the Five Eyes can penetrate our school with brainwashed informants and file hundreds of fake spam complaints. Those spam complaints could hurt the domain reputation of MailChimp and could be used to put us on an email blacklist. Even worse, they could claim our courses are fraudulent and in violation of canned spam laws. That could be used to entrap everyone who forwards our marketing emails. With this tactic, the Five Eyes could pressure our students and mail list subscribers to help knock our school offline and even falsely imprison us. Now, if you think this sounds outlandish, you really should watch that documentary, Diary of a Person of Interest. You have to see how desperate the Five Eyes have been to block our email domain from authenticating. Fortunately, we've got some video to walk you through. Now, first off, authenticating an email domain is extremely simple. One just changes their DNS settings, and within as little as 30 minutes to maybe 2 days, automatically those changes are detected and the domain is authenticated. Now, as high-value targets of the Five Eyes Spying Alliance, our communications have been hijacked and they're being redirected through servers connected to GCHQ, which is the UK's equivalent to the NSA. And we're being targeted by the same program detailed in the documentary Diary of a Person of Interest called JTRIG. JTRIG's documents were disclosed by Snowden, and they were among the most highly controversial of all the documents. What the public didn't realize, and the media didn't realize, is that JTRIG is a front for the targeted individual program. So when we used our own computer, which had been hijacked by the Five Eyes, and the email domain didn't authenticate, we knew it was sabotage. So then we went to an internet cafe that we'd been to before, and we decided to use a special browser called Tor that connects to 3 random servers in order to conceal our identity. So the spy agencies wouldn't know it was us trying to connect to a website called Mailgun, which is a way we could authenticate our email domain. Now, as you can see by the image on the screen, when we tried to connect through Tor, we were blocked from even connecting to the network. At that point, we knew the Five Eyes were determined to frame up our users and knock us offline. Since they're tracking our car, phones, and other digital devices, we left those behind. The next day, we walked to another internet cafe that we'd never been to before. As you can see this time, when we had the element of surprise, we were able to connect to the internet through the Tor browser. And that green Proton Mail label told us that we had a direct connection to the servers of Proton Mail. However, as you can see, the Five Eyes were disrupting our connection, so we weren't able to load the page fully. Next, we went to Mailgun, and after clicking sign up, the entire Mailgun sign up page had disappeared. Now, we went to extraordinary lengths to connect securely to Mailgun. We traveled within a 100-mile radius using public transit, while disguised and using an umbrella on a rainy and cloudy night to avoid satellite tracking and facial recognition. We also purchased a brand new computer, and we also used a network that might have hundreds or even thousands of users in order to mask our identity. It's connecting. Come on. Yes. Okay, so it looks like I've connected, but something was funny there. It was different. Now the moment of truth. You should sign up. As you can see, we managed to load the Tor browser and connect to the internet. From the instant that we accessed the internet, we were immediately identified. It's a completely white page. That's them, it's Five Eyes. Once you understand the damning information in our possession, you'll understand why the Five Eyes are so desperate to knock us offline. Next, they locked us out of our own website. When we tried to log in, the website told us that our password was incorrect. When we went to reset the password, it told us that our account didn't exist. Desperately, we turned to the Tor browser, and this time it worked. We entered our username and password, and they worked. After we managed to get into our website, the Five Eyes knew the gig was up. So when we tried to access our website through a normal browser, the same username and password that they said didn't exist, suddenly they worked just fine. Recognizing the deep state, we're determined to frame up our instructors, users, and visitors, and knock us out of business. We decided to take some extraordinary measures to protect our collective right to speak freely. The first of these was the decision to not do any email marketing through any domain other than our own. And that means not using automated software. In fact, the only emails that we send through other domains are transactional, which are allowed under the CAN-SPAM Act. We prohibit our students and affiliates from using any email marketing whatsoever that involves our services. We only send newsletters to people that have triple opted in for our mailing lists. We don't know anyone that does that. So if we get a bunch of spam complaints, we'll know that the spy agencies are behind it. To avoid being labeled as fraudulent, we chose to make no guarantees, promises, or offer no benefits other than access to our opinions, and we clearly have just as much right to share our opinions as any newspaper columnist. We added clear disclaimers that our content is comprised of our opinions. We conceal the identities of our instructors to defend them against attacks from the Five Eyes trolls, and this includes members of the targeted individual movement or other credible parties who the Five Eyes will certainly bribe, brainwash, and send into our organization to discredit us. That's how this program works. And finally, we publish this video on YouTube before ever launching our school to protect against the deep state deleting our website before our launch. Because that's how they operate. At least this way, by first publishing this video, if they sabotage us, everyone will know it's them, and that they fear the publication of the information in our possession. So again, our online school will be live in a few days. When it is, we'll add our URL in the video description below. And we'll be posting new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe. Until then, stay safe. Thanks for watching.